Hi guys, Robbie46 here and welcome to MotoGP 14 Time Attack Challenge. This is round 8 and we're at Assen. My previous Time Attack challenges obviously I've been doing on MotoGP 13. Now that 14 is available, I'm doing it on this. So all those people that have now got the game, you've got no excuse not to enter. Rules are very simple, 5 flying laps to do your quickest lap time. You've got to do it at Assen, obviously. That's where MotoGP have been this weekend. You've got to use a MotoGP bike. You can have any simulation setting you want. You can use any bike you want, any rider. And yeah, you're not allowed to cut corners. If you do, obviously, well, in 13 you'd never used to get penalties, but in 14, now that you get penalties, that will obviously add to your time anyway, or it will become an invalid lap. So yeah, I will leave the rules again in the description. Like I said, you got 5 laps only, and you can either enter by a video response and send me the link in a private message, or send me a screenshot of your lap times. When you go into the pit, if you look at session info, it's got all your lap times there. But anyway, this is my 5 laps that I'm doing, and whilst this is happening, I'm going to go through the race results and analysis for the TT Assen Race, which happened yesterday. Those of you that watched it, it was a hectic race. It was a good race, but it was a very hectic race, and it started pretty much before they actually started the race. After the Moto2 race, it started hammering it down yet again, and Stefan Bradl, he crashed on the sighting lap. They got to the grid. What were they had to decide what tyres they're going to use. It stopped raining eventually. They did another sighting lap. Rossi decided to go for slick tyres because he thought that the track was dry enough and he wanted to take a gamble. Unfortunately, it started raining again, and when they'd done their warm-up lap, he came straight into the pits along with another rider and decided to change back to wet tyres. So Valentino Rossi, he didn't qualify that great anyway. He qualified in 12th, but he had to start dead last out of pit lane. So lights went out, and it was Dovizioso who actually got the whole shot around the first corner. Yeah, he tried pulling away a little bit. You had other riders chopping and changing. You had Alicia Spargaro fighting at the top for a little bit. You had Marquez. He didn't get the best of starts as usual, but it's what we come to expect now, and he just started fighting his way through the pack. Midway through the race, however, the track did dry out enough for riders to start coming in and to change onto slick tyres. This meant Rossi came back in for the second time to change tyres, well, bikes. As they got 2 bikes in MotoGP, they don't have to just change the tyres, they can change the whole motorbike. Just saves time rather than just sitting there waiting for their mechanics to change the tyres. And yeah, a lot of them came in. People that didn't come in at the same time as the others were Lorenzo, Bradl and Bradley Smith. They waited a lap later to come in, which turned out to be their downfall. Marquez had a little battle with Dovizioso, and Marquez even made a mistake running off track and just managed to get into the gravel and get back off track. And then Dovi had a bit of a lead, but in the end Marquez managed to close that down and retake the lead. There was fastest laps coming from pretty much everyone during the race. Brock Parks at one point managed to get really high inside the top 10, and even Crutchlow was doing well at one point, And Pedrosa, he was battling with Alicia Spargaro all race. I think the battle pretty much lasted the whole race. I think it died down towards the end, but we had one non-classified rider for 8 laps to go. Pole Spargaro unfortunately bit the dust and crashed out. You had guys getting lapped. You had 4 riders getting lapped. Yoni Hernandez, Mike DeMeglio and Michael Laverty all got lapped once. Colin Edwards, he must have gone into the pits God knows how many times, got lapped 3 times. But it was such an interesting race as I just crash. It's such a good race to watch. It was hectic and no one knew what the hell was going on. And the open bikes actually stood a chance this weekend. I think wet races for the rest of the season is going to be a leveler, to be honest. I mean, the open bikes, because they're smoother on the power, they haven't got that aggressive power that the factory riders have, then I think that they're a bit easier to ride in the wet and they don't have to worry so much at spinning the rear tyre. So I think wet races for them are their best opportunity to show what they can actually do. But anyway, I'm going to go through the actual finished results now. Marc Marquez won, and he won in style, and he crossed the line swimming on his bike basically. Andrea Dovizioso crossed the line 6.7 seconds behind him. A great result for Ducatis. It's what they really need. They need results, and Dovizioso just showing that he is a good rider, and in mixed conditions he is one of the best. Danny Pedrosa managed to get 3rd. He was 10.7 seconds behind, and Alicia Spargaro was 19.1 seconds behind Marquez, finishing 4th. Rossi, however, after starting from pit lane and basically dead last, managed to fight his way through the pack, and he eventually ended up in 5th. I think it's a massive shame that he decided to take a gamble on these slick tyres, because if he started where he should have done, I'm not saying he would have won the race, but I think he could have been battling for the podium. He finished 5th, 25.8 seconds behind Marquez. I know it sounds like massive gaps, but in a really hectic race when they've all got to come in, change bikes and just kind of pussyfoot around a few laps to try and warm their tyres up without crashing, I mean, gaps in those sorts of races aren't really relevant. It's when it's dry races, they're all on a level playing field, and I think that's when gaps are more relevant. So don't look too much into the gaps, but they are big gaps. Andrea Iannone, another great race for him, managed to get 6th. He was 29 seconds behind Marquez. Alvaro Bautista, he was 7th. 30 seconds, well 30.8 seconds behind. Then you had Crutchlow 9th. I think that's the best result of the season. Stefan Bradl 10th, Brock Parks 11th, Scott Reddin 12th, Jorge Lorenzo 13th, he had a nightmare. Cara Abraham 14th, Danielo Pedrucci 15th, Ayama 16th, Hayden 17th, Barbara 18th, Yoni Hernandez 19th, DeMeglio 20th, Laverty 21st, and Colin Edwards 22nd. Anyway guys, my fastest lap I managed to do was 1:32.566. I managed to do 2 of them somehow. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to join in, send me your fastest lap. Don't forget to leave this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and I shall see you guys in the next video. See you!